It appears that NBC's costly big-time star Megyn Kelly has ruffled the peacock's feathers for the last time. After a series of on-air issues, not to mention low ratings, Kelly crossed a line this week.
During a discussion about Halloween costumes this week, Megyn Kelly says she's never been politically correct, going on to say she didn't understand what's wrong with blackface.
You get in trouble if you are a white person who puts on blackface on Halloween, or a black person who puts on whiteface for Halloween. Like, back when I was a kid, that was okay as long as you were dressing up as like a character.
The backlash was fierce, including from NBC colleagues.
While she apologized to the staff, she owes a bigger apology to folks of color around the country.
And she did just that.
I want to begin with 2 words. I'm sorry.
Her seemingly genuine and teary apology got a standing ovation from her audience. But NBC brass took a hard line. Speaking at a pre-scheduled company-wide meeting, NBC chief Andy Lack said, "There is no other way to put this. I condemn those remarks. There is no place on our air or in this workplace for them."
Thank you for listening and for helping me listen too.
Since her comments, Kelly's show has been in rerun, and it appears the end is nigh. Her low ratings, a failed Sunday night magazine show, and a series of dust-ups, including one with Jane Fonda, have execs worried about her viability, meaning she may soon join the ranks of bygone talk show hosts.
Daytime television is littered with the careers of women and men who tried and could not make it work.
But as the New York Times points out, Kelly's failure was her own doing.
It was her own doing, but I want to give equal blame right here and now to Andy Lack and all the executives at NBC who completely miscast her from being the anchor of that faux 60 Minutes Sunday night magazine show, putting her in the wrong time slot in the morning. She's not a warm and fuzzy person, and they just completely miscast her. This is who she is. She made that clear from the beginning, and they blew that. And I want to go right to you first, Callie, because I want to acknowledge something you said here. I can't remember exactly what day. I just looked at it again. And you said, I was basically singing her praises. You said, I don't like her. And then you mentioned her comment about calling Santa Claus white and Jesus white. And you said it may be a little thing, but it's not. Yeah. And this is another example of that. And I just want to acknowledge that you were right about that.
No, I know. I mean, I've not been a fan for those reasons. And I agree with you that that there was a mischaracterization of her for that role. You know, what I always look at from a broader diversity issue is that there are some folks of color who would never get the chance to fail miserably at $69 million deal. I'll just put that on the table. Having said that, I believe this is a crass cover for them.
Yes.
She was wrong, but they were looking for an exit, and this is now provided an exit for them. I do not believe in the sincerity of their response to this. I'm sorry to say. I don't know who those people were in the audience, by the way, either. So that's bizarre to me. The whole thing is extremely bizarre. The only thing that I thought came off very well that we have not seen is my colleague Roland Martin really broke it down for her about the history of blackface and what it meant and why it was hurtful, and in a very thoughtful way. There was a thoughtful discussion before on her show before that was taken off the air. But
that was Wednesday.
Yeah, that was Wednesday.
And then that was the end of it.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think it was ratings motivated. She was wrong. She was absolutely wrong and should have been discussed. But they knew this is what she was and who she was before she came.
Yeah. I agree with both of you. I think she was miscast. It was the wrong place for her. She did well where she was, and this was just the wrong place for her. But it never ceases to amaze me after being in the business for as many years as we've all been, how some seemingly smart person can say such a dumb thing. How somebody who appears to be so aware about the world can be so disconnected and so unaware. I know we're all a product of our environment. We all, have to speak our own truth, but it just is mind-blowing to me how someone can screw up this badly.
I believe in recycling because I'm a green kind of guy. So I'm going to say something I've said here before.
She'll be back.
She was, she'll be back. She'll be back on Fox. This was doomed from the beginning because her entire shtick was to be the non-crazy person on Fox, or at least less crazy than the rest of them. And you take her out of that environment, and she had nothing. There was nothing to compare her to. It was a disaster from day one, and I'll go back to that Alex Jones profile, which when it finally came out wasn't bad. It was pretty tough. It was pretty good, but all the reports were that the top brass had to constantly work to get it tougher than it was going to be. It was going to be a puff piece about Alex Jones. Thank God it wasn't, but that kind of set the tone, and it was all downhill from there.
Yeah. What a bizarre episode, really. I'm still hung up on her reference to, whites wearing blackface and blacks people wearing whiteface.
Yeah. Never.
I've been to a lot of Halloween parties.
A clown, maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't get that one at all. But, it's interesting that basically racist comments brought her down.
Yeah.
When the real interesting thing about Megyn Kelly is sexism in a variety of ways. First of all, there are some people around NBC who think that it was her advocacy of the Me Too movement, her direct criticism of NBC with the whole Matt Lauer debacle, not to mention her speaking out against Ailes over at Fox, that sort of led up to her demise. But also, would she have been on Fox or network TV at all if she weren't an attractive blonde woman in the first place? I mean, so there's all sorts of weird sexist attitudes wrapped up in her
She wants
story.
Ronan Farrow to be in her for the departure process, because I guess she's suggesting that it's part of a Me Too movement, that her departure
What does he get per hour for a consult like that?
Well, she can afford if she gets the
I guess so,
big
yeah,
payout.
you're
She
right.
doesn't have to work another day in her life.
Yeah,
That's right.
That's right.